Incredible design is another major category of scientific evidence against evolutionary theory and for creation truth. There are so many examples of amazingly intricate design that it will literally take years to explain it all in detail, but in our limited time, we're going to consider just two examples, including universal constants and our circulatory system. Gravity, which is necessary to life as one of the foundational universal glues, partners with several additional natural laws and constants to convincingly demonstrate the existence of a specific and omniscient God. Its force maintains Earth's integrity, plants our feet on solid ground, and assures planets continue to precisely circle the Sun. The gravitational proportionality constant equals 6.672 times 10 to the negative 11th power kilogram meters per second squared. This exact value is important since a slightly different gravitational constant will lead to the eventual catastrophic decay of orbits in space, which would ultimately cause universal destruction. The gravitational constant displays elegant and essential design. Gravitational precision alone cannot support life, but must be perfectly related to other fundamental universal influences, such as the electromagnetic and strong nuclear forces. The strong nuclear force involves a powerful electrical attraction that fuses individual atoms. This force divided by the atomic force of gravity always equals n, which is exactly 1 times 10 to the 36th power. If this number was any smaller, then only a short-lived miniature universe would exist, and no creature could grow larger than a grasshopper. The extraordinarily precise balance between the gravitational and electromagnetic forces also allows life to exist. If this balance was even 1 in 10 to the 40th power different, then the Sun would be unstable and unable to radiate enough energy to sustain earthly life. Another obvious design irreconcilable with evolutionary theory involves sun-powered and food chain initiating chemical reactions within organic plant molecules. These necessary reactions cannot possibly occur unless 6 universal constants, including the speed of light, electron mass, proton mass, Planck's constant, gravity force constant, and unit charge, exhibited precisely matched relationships, which are expressed by the complicated equation shown on the slide. Such a wonderfully intricate meshing of relative values between these essential constants assures the food chain and thus life on our planet is preserved. Without God's mathematical exactitude, Earth would be a barren place. Scientists have historically recognized the finely tuned order present throughout the universe as unmistakable evidence for a divine designer's existence. For example, the brilliant scientist Sir Isaac Newton, who is most famous for discovering the law of gravity in 1687, said, "Our most beautiful system of the sun, planets, and comets can only proceed from the dominion of an intelligent and powerful being." Similarly, 19th century physicist Lord Kelvin, inventor of the Kelvin temperature scale, stated plainly, "Mathematics and dynamics fail us when we contemplate the earth, fitted for life but lifeless, and try to imagine the commencement of life upon it." This certainly did not take place by any action of chemistry or electricity or crystalline grouping of molecules under the influence of force or by any possible kind of fortuitous concourse of atoms. We must pause face to face with the mystery and miracle of the creation of living creatures. While most people throughout the ages have understood the observable evidence of God surrounding them, the designer has been largely ignored by many modern men until recently. A Time magazine article declared, "In a quiet revolution in thought, an argument that hardly anyone would have foreseen only 2 decades ago, God is making a comeback. Most intriguingly, this is happening in the crisp intellectual circles of academic philosophers. Numerous breakthroughs in the astronomical and biological sciences have revived the case for universal intelligent design." This persuasive teleological argument is often associated with the Anthropic principle, which asserts that the Earth and universe are ruled by several fundamental laws and constants, whose combined precision is unexplainable without an intelligent designer. MIT physicist Dr. Vera Kistiakowsky, British astrophysicist Paul Davies, as well as astronomers John O'Keefe, Sir Frederick Hoyle, and George Greenstein, are among the growing number of contemporary evolutionists who have acknowledged the anthropic principle's validity. Dr. Kistiakowsky wrote, "The exquisite order displayed by our scientific understanding of the physical world calls for the divine." O'Keefe affirmed, "We are, by astronomical standards, a pampered, cosseted, cherished group of creatures. If the universe had not been made with the most exacting precision, we could never have come into existence. It is my view that these circumstances indicate the universe was created for man to live in." Davies agreed. There is, for me, powerful evidence that something is going on behind it all. It seems as though somebody has fine-tuned nature's numbers to make the universe. The impression of design is overwhelming. Hoyle admitted, a common-sense interpretation of the facts suggests a super-intellect has monkeyed with physics, as well as with chemistry and biology, and that there are no blind forces worth speaking about in nature. The numbers one calculates from the facts seem to me so overwhelming as to put this conclusion almost beyond question. Greenstein asserted, as we survey all the evidence, the thought insistently arises that some supernatural agency must be involved. Is it possible that suddenly, without intending to, we have stumbled upon scientific proof for the existence of a supreme being? Was it God who stepped in and so providentially crafted the cosmos for our benefit? Staunch evolutionists, such as the late Stephen Hawking, have also recognized the anthropic principle. After discovering that the proton must be exactly 1,836 times heavier than the electron for molecules to form and life to exist, he wrote, "The laws of science, as we know them at present, contain many fundamental numbers, like the size of the electrical charge of the electron and the ratio of the masses of the proton and the electron. The remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers seem to have been very finely adjusted to make possible the development of life. It seems clear that there are relatively few ranges of values for the numbers that would allow the development of any form of intelligent life. This means that the initial state of the universe must have been very carefully chosen indeed. It would be very difficult to explain why the universe should have begun in just this way, except as the act of a God who intended to create beings like us." It has become obvious to an increasing number of well-respected modern scientists that the governing rules of the universe and Earth are too finely tuned to be the product of blind chance from non-intelligent and lifeless matter that came from nothing and nowhere. The slide shows 13 more examples of the precise physical values which bind our universe and permit earthly life. About 60 similar additional fundamental laws and constants exist, and each must be exact to within thousandths of a percent, or we wouldn't be alive. Scientists are often thrilled to unearth crude stone tools, monuments, pottery, and other ancient artifacts, since they are evidence for intelligence. Similarly, one cannot approach Mount Rushmore or a relatively simple wristwatch lying on the ground without recognizing the reality of a maker. Likewise, sophisticated modern technology cannot have arisen randomly from nothing, but rather is impressive proof of the existence of brainy beings. However, all man-made objects are extremely primitive in comparison to the awesome intricacy and unparalleled precision of natural creation. Astounding universal accuracy and fine-tuned constancy absolutely demands the reality of a super-intelligent designer and sustainer. Neither we, nor anything else existing within this incredible universe is the accidental product of a chaotic explosion of dead matter which literally came from nothing and nowhere.